a 19-year-old in Texas, Justin Carter, has been jailed and put on suicide watch, and his father fears for his safety. He was jailed over a Facebook comment. He didn't do anything. Police didn't find anything when it was brought to their attention. This is just pretty unbelievable. He's been in jail since, He's been in jail since March. 19-year-old. Basically went on a Facebook rant about killing kids, which was a dumb move, yes, I know, but does not warrant, obviously, being put into jail if those threats don't pan out into anything realistic.
Well, and and to be clear, by realistic, we don't mean like actually going and doing a horrific school shooting. We mean like planning, like the fact or not following up what he did right, which admittedly was horrible, but he did immediately right, joking. Like,
yes, I mean, okay, we could discuss. I think that's a cop-out people use when they say something that gets them in trouble.
Right.
They try to, but how, all that aside, yes, if he said something, this is what he said. He was locked up in March after getting into an online argument, and in February he made this Facebook comment. I think I'ma shoot up a kindergarten and watch the blood of the innocent rain down and eat the beating heart of one of them.
Maybe he should be in jail. That's pretty...
No.
That's really disturbing.
Wait, listen. It is disturbing. He's obviously... I mean, it's over the top. It's just not serious sounding, just the way of it. It is pretty disturbing, though, if you're not used to hearing those sort of unbelievable things in movies or whatever. But, I mean... A woman from Canada basically contacted the local police after finding the boy's address on Google, and the cops checked him out. Lieutenant John Wells of the New Braunfels Police Department told NBC, unfortunately, any time that we have those type of comments made about a school system with the history of school violence, we have shown we have to take those very seriously, especially 2 months after Sandy Hook. But, I mean, the kid, you check this stuff out. And then you find out that it wasn't a serious threat. He has no means, no preparations of doing such a thing. I mean, maybe at the most, community service or a fine or something like that. I don't know. Not even though. I don't believe in that. But I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of law they could dig up for this. But the kid's been in jail since March. Basically, a judge set a bond for him of $500,000. And the family just can't afford it.
Right.
Right. The father is worried for his safety. Apparently, he was beaten, and that's why. And he's been put on suicide watch because he's been very depressed and has lost hope. It's just, I mean, he's being jailed for a thought crime, basically.
He's being jailed for saying something grotesque and horrifying. I mean, but I gotta say, I mean, you know, the other thing that occurs to me about this, two things really quick. One, I remember when I was young, there was this kid that I wasn't really friends with him, to be honest, because he was a little off. But I remember there was a thing where he made some comment about potentially harming himself or harming somebody else, and you know, a friend was scared, and a police officer came and checked this kid out, and you know, the result was like, in this situation, in this, you know, small town, was this cop kind of like pulling this kid's dad aside and saying, you know, maybe you should go spend some more time with him. Maybe you should consider like enrolling him in a martial arts class or something. Like, there was a productive lesson to it that I think actually did help this kid out. And I think, you know, it's amazing what we seem to just be running straight to. And then number two, if he was just saying something horrible and disgusting and horrifying, absolutely, of course, whatever, that's disturbing, can't go to jail for that. What is most likely to contribute to this kid coming out? And I mean, I don't even want to say this, I'm not trying, but I'm saying like, the trauma of this experience is not going to help him to not go in a bad direction. And I'm not saying it's going to happen to this specific kid. Yeah, to be clear about that. In past cases, this has turned out someone who becomes what he was not to begin with, but they thought he was. He actually turns into that. Right. Again, this will
I'm not saying this will happen to him.
Absolutely.
It's dependent on each individual.
Right.
But it is something that's happened in the past.
And my God, I mean on the internet, people write also. I mean, this is people write just. That was exceptionally horrible. I think that should be clear. But if you go into any YouTube comment
board, 4chan,
people write just horrible stuff
all
the time.
Only difference is they do it anonymously.
Right.
So someone can't find this kid and call the police.
Right.
But another thing about this, all the articles have been mentioning how he was playing an online video game, League of Legends, when he made the threat on Facebook. I don't understand what this has to do with anything. He didn't make the threat inside the video game's like chat room or whatever. I don't understand what the two have to do with each other other than the fact that once again the media is trying to conflate school shootings, school threats with video games. You wouldn't see this thing for any other outlet. You wouldn't see this connected with anything else. I mean, when you see, and I'm only talking about, school shootings with, books or other things. I'm talking about also, other crimes with video games. Why is school shootings always connected to video games, as if video games are warping these children's minds into wanting to shoot up their schools?
Because they are, Matt.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's just ridiculous. This kid should not be in jail.
Yep.
And I don't know if he's still in school, but I mean, 19, there's a chance, at least in college maybe. But if he is in school, if he was a year younger at 18 or whatever, and he was in senior year of high school, what happened to the school getting involved and watching this kid, counseling this kid, making sure everything's okay?
Well, this is the point I was making about the story about the kid that I knew growing up, that this cop's response was the opposite. It was like, hey, look, you need to kind of, you don't have some monster here, but some stuff is going on. You need to kind of check in on him. And as I say, I didn't know him that well, but it seemed like it had a positive effect. And I mean, could you imagine in today, you might have had another situation where cop, oh my God, terroristic threat, lock this kid up. He was just a little upset and he needed more guidance and more support. I mean, there's a kid in Massachusetts who got, arrested for posting a friggin' rap video where he mentioned the,
yes.
I mean, it's totally out of control. And it is interesting how, again, I'm not conflating in any way, shape, or form because they're totally fundamentally different things. But I think that, it's interesting that we're very much in an age of preemption. Whether it be a signature strike or some kid saying something on Facebook, there's not, and again, vastly different things, but the mentality of immediately going to the maximum.
It's like the Minority Report.
Yeah.
On the Majority Report.
Minority on the Majority.